Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm with Nick Strong from SocialHandler, who has got quite a bit of knowledge when it comes to the relationship between franchisors and franchisees. Now, one of the biggest things when it comes to buying a franchise is being part of a large organization, singing from one voice. And one of the best ways that you can do to use your marketing is the power of social media. The issue is that if you're a franchisor, how can you control is a wrong word, but control, guide, and support your individual franchisees in the network so they have that important local voice. So, Nick, you're pretty strong when it comes to marketing, social media, and franchisees and franchisors. What are the biggest issues, firstly, from a franchisor's point of view, about how their franchisees do their marketing, especially on social media? Talk to me.
Okay, will do. Thanks for inviting me, Chris, and thanks everyone that's watching. So really, as you said, franchising is about a single brand, raising the power of that brand so everybody understands the brand. So whether they walk into a franchise office in Grantham or London or Southampton, they should expect the same quality experience time after time. Now, that's fine in the days where the franchisor controlled everything. They controlled the website, they controlled the printed media, but then, of course, we're now in the era of self-publishing, the era of I can say what I want, when I want, whenever I want, to whomever I want, but that brings a burden as far as franchisors are concerned, because franchisees may not necessarily know the brand voice. They may think that images on Google are free, which obviously they're not, and they might make, for the best possible efforts, the worst possible mistakes that misrepresent the brand and misrepresent their own business and themselves, which can get them into a lot of trouble, which clearly everyone wants to avoid.
Well, that's the reason why you buy a brand, but you want your other franchisees in the network to remain squeaky clean. Otherwise, the value of the brand is not worth buying, is it?
Exactly. So if someone runs around playing roughshod with the brand and not realizing that they're doing it, it can cause a lot of problems for everyone concerned.
I mean, certainly, I wouldn't want to be a marketing director or marketing manager for a large franchise network. No, almost, your job is there to help them, but there's a lot of, marketing directors in franchising that almost feel like a brand police. That can't be fun for them, can it?
Well, it can't, and it's made increasingly difficult by people as obviously having the power to publish through many aspects and many avenues of social media. So there's all these questions. Should brand directors allow franchisees to publish? What should they allow them to publish? Should they have their own voice? Should they have pages to publish through?
Well, they should have. I mean, we are in the network of personal branding as well as company branding, and that if you get it right, you get the best of both worlds: a great brand and great personality. But then that comes with dangers, doesn't it?
It does, and there's a lot of fear around making mistakes. And perhaps the fear is genuine and reasonable, and a franchisor may or may not be comfortable with the whole social media side and may be struggling with elements of that themselves, but they're pretty quickly coming up to speed, because anything you have to do, you learn how to get to grips with. Franchisees as well may be running at different speeds, but anyone that comes into franchising, yes, invests into being part of that brand, but no one I've ever met has joined a franchise as a franchisee because they have a passion for publishing social media. They're there to follow the system and to use that system to make as much money as possible by investing into that brand and into those processes.
So, are you saying me that franchisees don't want to be faffing about? Because let's be honest, it takes an awful lot of brain power to work out what to post and what not to post. The reason they bought the franchise was because of a system. So is it beholden on the franchisor to almost create a structure and a plan to ensure that, yes, you're having a brand voice nationally, but you're also having individual voices that are on brand locally?
Yes, I think that thinking of your marketing holistically is more and more important. Now we all have the power to validate any advertising that any brand puts out through the voices of people you can't control. Thinking of things like Trustpilot and all of these different places where people can say whatever they want about a brand that they're actually dealing with beyond the brand owner's control. So when you make a promise, people are thinking, okay, you say you're the best, I've never dealt with you, let's have a look at what you're saying on your social media. Let's have a look and see if people are agreeing with what you're saying. So it becomes a point of awareness, a point of validation, and it has to fit within a holistic messaging plan. And really that has to come from the franchisor. It must be franchisor-led, and the franchisees must be able to take action, but with confidence.
Yeah, but still allowing the franchisees to tweak it, slightly. It can't be a rigid cut and paste job, can it?
Well, what I'd say is franchising is about one brand interpreted through multiple local voices. So people follow the system and are passionate about the brand, ideally, but it's got to be with that local personalized voice. That has to be that human voice that makes that brand come alive on a local level.
Definitely. I mean, when I was involved with franchising, we always used to suggest that they put the hashtags in the name of their town, because you'd be amazed. That's the thing that brings everyone together. Now, what do you guys do at SocialHandler to actually help franchisors do this?
Well, we recognize there's a lot of tools out there to help people publish at scale, but not in a way that's useful for franchising. So many people have heard of tools like Hootsuite and Buffer and these kind of things. And they're great for publishing at scale as an individual. But what they don't have is a head office to multiple local office structure. And that's what we've built to fill that gap. So essentially at SocialHandler, the head office team or their agency will create those posts that fit into the marketing plan, that fit into the content plan on a weekly, monthly, daily basis. And then at a click of a button, send those social media posts individually or bunched together in campaigns to all of the franchisee outlets at the click of a button. They would then get an email to say, you've got posts, and then they'd log into socialhandler.online, which is the full URL of our system. And then they would accept the posts, or they would edit them, or they would say, no, I actually don't think that is relevant for my local voice at this time. But ultimately, it provides social media crafted posts as a service and helps mitigate risk of people making genuine mistakes that could hurt them.
The social media only works if you put great content out on a regular basis, the drip, drip, drip. And so what you're almost saying is SocialHandler is almost, these are my words, not yours, Hootsuite for franchisors, to ensure that the correct amount and the correct quality of content is delivered to franchisees, which gives them the ability to tweak it, make sure they're happy with it, and then publish it out. So you have that global brand voice, but with a local twist. Would that be about right?
I'd agree. It brings social media into the franchising operations paradigm. So people invest into the brand and into the local office knowledge for that to be disseminated to them locally so they can be empowered to trade effectively. So it captures social media within that operational structure to empower people with essentially the expertise that's available through the brand and through the expertise on a local level, on a head office level.
Myself, I'm certainly involved with a lot of franchisees and franchisors in the estate and letting agency land. And again, we are now moving across into self-employed agency, which again, this would help them as well. I'm going to stress to anyone watching that I've not been paid to do this video. It's just that I've known Nick now for over 8 or 9 years, and I've always looked up to him when it comes to social media. Nick, I'd like to thank you very much for your time today. And if anyone's got any questions, how do they contact you?
Contact me, Nick, at socialhandler.online, or you can give me a call 023 80 275710, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.